Welcome to DIY with Gayle and the Ketchikan Public Library. Hi, family, friends, and neighbors. Here we are with another craft. This is a quickie. It's fun, and we're upcycling bottles. And at the end, come see what we're going to be doing on the 16th of February. Yep, we're going to have an in-house one. Woohoo! All right, let's get on with it. Alrighty, for this craft we are going to need some glue. Tacky glue works beautifully, some twine, and a recycled bottle. There will be lots of gluing going on. Now you'll have to decide how high you want your twine to go. If you want it to cover your whole bottle, part of the bottle, are you going to use it for a night light or a vase or just something to sit there and look beautiful? I've decided to only go part way up my bottle. I'm actually thinking about putting lights in it. We'll see. See, it is twine. There are different weights. I just chose two that were similar in weight, the white and the brown. You start at the bottom, and that's probably the hardest part, is getting that bottom first round, even the second round. Once you've got that, it goes very, very quickly. Very quickly. Leave the bottom clear. I even don't put glue on it. I try and keep the glue off of that too. And you'll be able to set this bottle down and push the coils of twine down so that it's nice and tight. Just as you go along, just make sure you're pushing down the pieces so it keeps it nice and tight. And this glue, I'm using the Elaine's quick tacky glue. I like it the best. The hot glue did not work as well on there. I didn't like it. Cooled way too fast for one. So the tacky glue was my favorite for all of the jars that I have done so far. It has held really well. And it gives me time to do the pushing down and keeping everything tight. And yet still holds. Do add as much glue as you need. It oozes through the twine. That's perfectly fine. You want it like that even, just to make sure you have a very secure hold. So it's okay if you get it on the twine. If you make a mess of the twine with the glue, it will not show, okay? and it does hold better. All right, so at this point I'm getting up to where I'm going to want to change my colors. So I'm going to need to make sure everything is pushed down so the twine pieces are not leaving big gaps or anything like that. So I'm going to finish up this last little bit and then push those all down nice and tight before I start the white one, to make sure everything is in order. And if you look closely, you can see the glue on the twine, which is perfectly fine. I did say that. Don't worry about it. Getting it all over the bottle, you know, you'll want to wash it off before it dries. The clear parts of the bottle that you're going to leave, but wherever the twine is, glue is good, especially the tacky glue. Other glue, I don't know what it'll do as far as leaving a glossy residue or something like that, but this stuff does not. It's really wonderful. All right, I'd like to remind you that even though I video all of this, there's times I'd love to speed it up and zip through, but I don't, because there are some of you who like to watch all of it, which is awesome. I appreciate you. But for those of you who just need to push that fast forward, please feel free to do that. It takes a bit to squash this all down into perfect little rows. Perfect. Yeah, it's a craft, nothing perfect. But anyway, so there you go. Remember, fast forward is fine. So I've glued the end down of the brown piece really good, and I'm going to start the white piece right at the edge of where I left off with the brown piece. You need a lot of glue to hold those edges nice, and to also push them down so they don't puff up, and makes it less visible that way. also want to put some of the twine up on the upper part of the neck and top. Now, because of the little ridges, it is a little bit harder to do. You just have to go a little slower, and it will go right over those ridges and look awesome. Just take your time. Okay, so I'm putting extra glue on that tail so that I can get that tail to disappear into there. And there it is. Twine's on. Now we need to clean the glass between the two areas because the glue dries quickly and it will leave icky spots. So make sure you clean your glass really, really well. and sitting here at my desk, of course, I don't have access to the water quite readily, so excuse me as I use my tea water. All right. And I think that looks just awesome. I'll show you a few more here in a minute. Clean up my mess a little bit, and then we'll make a flower for on our bottle. The twine does leave residue. You'll end up, it feels hairy, like little pieces of hair and stuff falling off. All right, for our flower, we're just going to decide how long we want to make it. I just looped it to see petal-wise how big, and the white one will be cut about a 1/2 inch shorter than the brown one. So I've got about a 4.5 inch for the brown, so yeah, 3 inches for the white would be great. Once they're cut, all you're going to do is loop them together, putting their ends together. You'll need 4 of each color. So I'm just going to put the glue on my finger and roll them in the glue. My glue bottle is getting very empty. I use a lot of tacky. I did it 1 at a time here, but it does work better 2 at a time. I think I figured that out. Just because you want them to stay together, the 2 pieces as one. They float individually in the loop part, but at that bottom you want them stuck together nice. And then it will keep popping apart, so just stroke that glue right into those 4 ends until it's nice and kind of pointed, kind of so that it'll lay and make a flower beautifully. Now for the decision on where to put it, low or high. It's always the choices, isn't it? I kind of like that. I think that looks good. And then I want a stem and maybe some leaves. Just a little one. Just a little curly Q. And all of this is adhered with the tacky glue, just to make it easier. Yeah, maybe up higher. That's why I love crafting. You never know what it's going to look like till you're done. There's so many choices. Oh, Lordy, I just realized you can see my screen. I love that screensaver. Just add as much glue as you need, rub it in, it's not going to show, and you do need it to hold that down. Otherwise, I don't know about at your house, but at my house, the kids they'll be checking it out. So make sure you put enough glue on there and just smear it around. Oh, look at that. I think it looks wonderful. All right, how about some leaves? A lot of it is just by guess and by golly. This is about the right size. I guess I'll use it that size. Yeah. Okay, and notice as I'm putting these on, the leaves are only adhered to the jar by the ends. I leave it popped up. Same with the petals for the flower. They are not glued down, the top parts, just the center of the flower. The ends of those loops are what is on the jar itself. Everything else is free floating. Now for something to put in the middle of that little flower. I happened to pick up some buttons and doodads at the secondhand store, so we'll see if there's something in there. Some of the other ones I've done with the little gems in the middle, you can use whatever you want to decorate your bottle. And believe me, you can decorate more of the bottle if you like. This is just my preference at this time. I like that. Yeah, I think that one looks awesome. I flipped it over and it even looked better. It's a button, a wooden button even. Just glue and add. I wasn't sure if that was going to stick very well, but this morning I checked on it and it looks awesome, did not pop off. If you have a problem with your little centers popping off, that's a good place to use your glue gun instead of the tacky, but this worked beautifully. Here's some that I did for the Harry Potter show. This is a nightlight. I sprayed the inside. To be honest, that is a salad dressing container. I painted the top and put a bead on it, and then I put the little silhouette pixies inside. I did a little bit of the twine at the top and the bottom. It makes a great nightlight. So think about that with your old pickle jars and salad dressing jars. They make great little night lights. The next one I'm showing you will be the jelly jar. That one I really liked. I only used the twine on the bottom. Again, I sprayed the insides of those two with the some sort of a frost type thing. We used it on a vase in my last video, I think. So you can kind of make it so it's not as easily seen. You can also do that with Mod Podge. Just paint the inside with a little Mod Podge. You can even put color in it. As I said, these were at our Harry Potter thing. Also sprayed with the frost and then just added things too. Yep, you can have it as a vase. Now this one I did flowers on and used the gem in the middle, so you can add a lot more flowers if you like. Also, at the end of this, with your twine bottles, you should probably take a lighter and burn off some of the fuzz. Be careful, it can get a little dangerous. And there you have it. On November 16th from 2 to 4, come on in and we'll work on bottles and this cute little candle glass centerpiece.